Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Tuesday video. This one is going to be focused on the Cavalier objective, something that I know a lot of players have done, but there's some that may be kind of like a bit hanging on the fence, and this video is really to help out with those that are a bit unsure about maybe the combination of champions to use. We're going to go over some of my footage, and as well going to go over some potential options of champions. And do bear in mind there are some things to note with this, rotations of champion bosses, which is going to be quite important. And yeah, some really kind of like interesting, fun and cheesy options, and as well looking at the build of your team, because sometimes you may go, hey, I'm going to create a team, and other times I'm not going to create a team around this. So you can see here, this is Deadly Sin Despair. So this is one where you're able to pick up the 10% crystal, the tier 5 class catalyst one. And it's kind of like a little bit more straightforward than the previous one last month. Last month was kind of a joke in comparison, especially from a time grind perspective. This one you can literally bash out in 3 goes, especially if you get the right champion combination. What do I mean by right champion combination? Well, so far the only bosses that you seem to get are Guillotine 2099, Emma Frost, and Stealth Suit Spidey. All things are very important because it's all about champion creation as well around different things like prestige. Because I know there's a lot of discrepancies as to setup against this, and like, well, what is the best champions to take against this? My personal feeling on this is the best route is always something that plays towards the advantage of the champion. Now, this isn't a good example, but I have had many other good examples where there's been champions that really spoke to my Corvus or my Medusa. Going up against a boss like Guillotine at 2099, having a champion that has not an armor break, but somewhat helpful, but one that interacts with robots, number one, and number two is a class advantage with a good amount of stonkingly good power and damage, and as well you know how to deal with the heavy attack method of sending the champion into the or kind of nullifying the mode that the champion does. So always start off with a parry, heavy, and then wait for that cycle to go around, and then you do the same thing. Because that seems to be the easiest one, the likes of Hyperion, Corvus Glaive, and Medusa seem to be really cool options, but they're not like, say, if you don't have those champions, then that causes a difficulty. But the good thing about Corvus is that if you go up against a champion that is a one that throws an auto block or an evade, it means you can get a mission. If you do ones that are mutants, or you knock down a mutant, that's another mission. If you manage to go up against an Avenger of any kind, that's a mission. So that's what I'm talking about. The idea of like, look, well, if you've knocked down techs as well, if you go up against an Iron Man, is a tech and an Avenger. So therefore, you've completed all the missions. You're able to get all those amazing amounts of cruelty damage and absolutely spank in when it comes to the enemy. Now, in order to prepare for this, it's important to go over to a site where you can have a look at the prestige of champions. And as you can see, this is my Corvus Glaive on screen at the moment. It's built in a certain way that kind of gives you an idea that my prestige is 9,225. Now, I could look to kind of, because this is meant to be a 10k rating. So here's the thing. Well, what do I do with my champion? Like adding more to it. And I could like add some more to this from a team perspective. But I just want to keep it safe, play it safe, because that's the problem. I have done some stuff in the past where I'm like, okay, this should work, and it turns out it does not. I'm going to showcase some footage in a minute once I've just kind of explained something, so I'll give you an option here. Medusa, which is on my team, I did use. I'm just getting the signature for this one that I do have on my team, which I can't show just yet, she's in content, was 130 signature on that champion. I then decided with that I would add in a blackbolt for the synergy, which is a 2-star at rank 3, and it's 99. Was it 99 or was it? I think it was something like I kind of like either got this right or either got this wrong, but I think I was testing it out to kind of give you an example. But that's the thing, if I had a one that was rank 2, then that may kind of like add up and then give me that 10,000 based on that particular team rating. That's so important. And this is the thing, I just want to point out, like, go to Aunt May, play about with stuff, but in the case of like this video, I want to showcase doing it wrong and also doing it right. So it's a case of going to Aunt May, so link is in the description to Aunt May, where you're able to kind of again remove, so therefore we go right, we're at 9,621. And that's the thing. It's important to keep this 10k rating as low as possible, and it's important as well to do your research, because you may be presented with information like what's on screen now, and going like, okay, well, that's 14,000, oh, that's 13,000, and that's the thing. I try to kind of like, as I said, I'm trying to do the wrong and showcase the right. So showcasing the wrong is kind of going, okay, so I've got that lovely Dr. Doom. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Let's use Dr. Doom because that's a really cool option. But it doesn't exactly work out like that. So like I've got Dr. Doom at, we can see on screen now, I've got 565, signature of 180. So there we go, 180s there. And then I'm going to then showcase the screen, which as you see here is way over than it needs to be. If for whatever reason I had a 50 rating, hey, that'd be great. And I would say go and use your Dr. Doom in this, because it's not just about saying, hey, let's use the 4-star version. It's all about as well checking your prestige against this champion. I wasn't 100% sure on this, and I thought it was on PI, but I'm not 100% sure if this is like how it's meant to be, but it's just a case it's worked off of the prestige side of things on the rating, because and it's worth a try just to kind of like see what the crack is with it. But as I said, like the Medusa side of things, like I thought that my Medusa would be too over than it is, but it's not. It's fine. But yeah, let's have a look at some of the footage of the champions in action, and I'll just like talk over the top of it, and as well showcase some of the bad options and maybe some good play at the same time. So we kick things off with Hyperion. This was a pretty unique option, and I would say that this was all about 4 stars or 4-star usage. And that's the thing as well, you could use a 5-star Hyperion. I don't know if I had 5-star Hyperion in working on some other content, and that may have been the reason behind it. But using it in just a normal sense, because the legendary isn't overly difficult. And I mean, if you make a mistake and it costs you 1 revive, it costs you 1 revive, say, at a time if you are using 4 stars for it. But still, the process of rinse and repeat with Hyperion works. It's just really when you have that kind of power sting off of, I think it's the second or third, I think it's the second time, the second node that, or second person you go up against has that kind of thing, and you go into this kind of like weird thing where you kind of like getting, that's too many power stings, and you're like, I have to do parry heavy, I can't throw a special attack because like literally I'm going to eat a wall of death. You could, after the SP1, throw it once the power sting expires, but I think this just works out as an equal measure, and it has an armor break which can be quite helpful, especially if you go up against Emma Frost. And that's something I was kind of alluding to there, is that if you don't get Guillotine 2099, you may get Emma Frost. So that armor break will be applicable, and that's why those champions are good. It just means that if you want to do it in one big sitting of 3 fights, or 3 times doing the legendary mode, then at least you have the option. By the way, I completely scuffed this fight up because I decided to kind of go, I got a little bit bored and a little bit kind of like too antsy, and decided that I just wanted to kind of just power on through, which you're going to see now like, that wasn't a good idea, was it? Like parry heavy, I didn't get as lucky as I wanted to. I thought I would build up to an SP2 quicker. I did not, and as the champion would come out, I would get smacked. I don't think that regeneration helped me in any case, but it just showcases that I was able to pick up that was the very first time of picking up the Deadly Sin. The next time, this one was all about using Medusa. As I said, using Medusa is a pretty good option, as this is a champion with extensive armor break. And I did try, which I will showcase in a minute, the idea of the wrong prestiging of the champion or addition, and it completely scuffed up. If you are to over the amount of prestige, then you will, or team rating as it's alluded to, but I don't think it's on team rating, it does seem very much prestige based. But yeah, that's what happens. You won't get it. But as I said, I love the idea of using Medusa. It was nice to go back to an old favorite and an armor break champion. There are other options. You can use Magento, Venom. I've even heard of people using that. So yeah, there are plenty of options of champions, and it's not just about these ones here. But it certainly was good, as I said, to break out Medusa. You just got to be very careful about the power sting, which I am kind of looking at. And yeah, I made a mistake with my Medusa, and it cost me. It really did. When the AI is not kind of working in your favor, man, it can be absolutely dreadful. But picking up that win was kind of important. A good little intercept there to end on, at least to kind of give myself a little bit of personal pride that that mistake didn't overly cost me. I think it cost me like a 20 20% revive, and I'm getting these a lot more easily from solo events, so I didn't feel too kind of like beaten down by it. But yeah, that was the second deadly sin picked up there with Medusa, and I was thinking to myself, I need something different. I need something different. So I went about the testing route and testing out Dr. Doom here, just again to showcase that kind of thing about not getting it. And that's the thing about, like, you can't just say, oh, I'll just use any 565 not depending on kind of research. So yeah, this was just to point out when it can go wrong, and also from a point of going, hey, I just needed to collect some stuff. So yeah, going and just double checking that objective. You can see nothing popped up except for that. Checking specials, going down there. I'm still on 2 as I was before. So again, that's showcasing the wrong, and if you don't do your research, it will go wrong. This is one that was the most entertaining and most fun, because I went in, because this is the thing, guys, go and scope out your route and go, hey, look, you know, is this going to be good for a Corvus? Because you've got like an option of going, hey, there's a mutant on there. There was Beast, I had Iron Man, and I started off with against the Medusa. So the great thing about this was I got the auto block mission. I got 2 missions off of Iron Man for him being a tech and as well being an Avenger. And then here's the other thing. I've then going up against a champion in shape and form of Beast. That's a mutant. I got that one, and I'm going up against a champion. Now, it would have been great if I was going up against Guillotine, not Guillotine 2099, if I was going up against Emma Frost, because of the armor break that comes from Corvus Glaive. But the great thing about this is, oh, I did actually. I tell a lie. I thought it was going to be a case I was against Guillotine 2099. See, I can't even remember my own footage. But look, here we go. Emma Frost fight, and this is going to be done and dusted, and it's going to be a big fat W here. So yeah, like that's it, and all good news. So yeah, picked up this last one, picked up the win with it, and that's how I got it completed. There you go, that's been the video. I do believe that you will see an Ebony more from time to time. Don't quote me on that one. I've just seen it in lower difficulty, so I can imagine it will be part of the rotation. But if it is Emma Frost and it is going to be Guillotine 2099, then there's so many really cool options, from champions that deal with robots to champions that have class advantage and throw armor breaks, and as well good throwing off of that heavy attack. Any champion is applicable for this, but there are some really kind of fun and cheesy options, as I've shown you in this particular video. And like I said, there could be many options. You know, we've got Cat Marvel movie below me. Put in the comment section if there's a champion that you've used that you think is quite effective, and as well some thought processes around prestige and dealing with the situation of it. Hope this video has helped players out come up with some really cool options. Please make sure to check out some of the new content located up there, and as well support Rich's Realm. That's my second channel. That's where I do Marvel Realm of Champions stuff, and I'll see you later on for the live stream. Bye bye.